Larsson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly, how about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!
Good evening all and welcome along to Friday night Celtic Unrestricted View with JP, myself and my good man Ryan. Well Ryan, we're at the end of the first week of 2026, mate. First and foremost, how are you?
Aye, all good, mate. Good to get Celtic back tomorrow. Been a long week without any football or anything. Normally these days you get a game during the week, a game at the weekend, and obviously just due to the Christmas period, etc., there's been nothing much this week. So, yeah, I'm all good, mate. Looking forward to get more chatting. We'll try and be positive, but I don't think there's going to be much positivity in the transfer up front. But we'll deal with that when it comes. But yeah, I'm good, mate. I hope you're well as well, and I hope the viewers are looking forward to the weekend and hope we're all well as well.
Yeah, I'm all good. As I said, mate, it's the end of the first week of 2026. It's been a quick week for me personally. Quite a lot of things happening. Celtic have had two different managers this week as well, so we've had a lot going on, definitely. As Ryan said, folks, you are tuning in across the platforms. I hope you are all well. Hope you've had a good week also. I know lots of folk get excited coming to weekends and get to chill out with their families, and like ourselves, we love going to see Celtic and going to games and stuff, so yeah, it's the weekend's always something for us to look forward to. We'll come to some early comments. We've got East End Community Radio for the guys there at the channel. Good evening, one and all. Hope you are well, guys, at the channel. Hope you are all well. Nord Celts is in as well. Rejected by ex-players, we are truly hitting new lows. Whilst teams around us with lower budgets spend and strengthen, this can't go on, can it? A wee bit of McCarthy in there.
It can.
G-Doc, good evening, mate. Hope you are well. Switch, anything positive from Paradise? Well, we do have a couple of bits of positivity, or whatever way you would take that. And good evening, JP, Ryan, and the chat. We got any new ones in? Yep, Mark McDonald, hey, well, everyone. Hope to see the real Celtic turn up tomorrow. Patrick Kerrigan, hail all. Will you match with O'Neill? I think we can do probably one better than that, wee man, can't we? We could probably do his wee famous kangaroo jump up the Celtic way if we get a victory tomorrow.
Aye.
Toby, you're in, mate. Hail, the Celts are here. It's good to be back. It's good to have Martin back also. There'll be lots of people crying, I would imagine, mate, and lots of their faces, hopefully, in the coming weeks. Vincent O'Brien, hail from Dublin. Must be cold over there, Vincent, is it? Are you coming to the game tomorrow, mate? Are you travelling over, or are you staying at home? Chris Murray, good evening, boys, in the chat as well. Ryu Ken, hey JP and Ryan, good evening. Hope you're well. And Regina Mund, good evening, guys. Very good evening to yourself. As I said, I hope everybody's had a lovely week. Coming up to Sean Taylor. Evening, lads. Good evening, Sean. I hope you're well, pal. And Big Shug, I'm not sure who Big Shug's replying to there. He says it can and hopefully will. So I think I'll be
Is that a Rangers fan? Is that a Hearts fan? One or two?
Aye, he's one or the other. He's one or the other. Yes. So, obviously, a couple of things. Obviously, Wilfred Nancy was sacked at the start of the week. Just to summarise quickly, Ryan, me and you have been on all week together, mate. This is the old Jack and Victor show's been back all week. Monday, Wednesday, and the night as well. So, Wednesday night, obviously, Martin Neill's done his presser, and he spoke to the journalists and stuff about his coming back in the door, and he's obviously vouched that there's deals now happening behind the scenes. He alluded to that today. At that precise moment in time, he did say there was nothing imminent. But since Martin's done that interview, Ryan, there's been wide reports now that Celtic are about to finalise a deal for our good man Anthony Joseph. Put it out as well that Celtic are about to finalise a deal for Jocelyn Tabi, or Bita. Is it Bita or Tabi? To be or not to be?
To be or not to be.
To be or not to be. Aye. So yes, and he's coming from. He's an Ivory Coast winger, left-footed winger, cutting in from the right-hand side, a bit like Nicholas Kuhn. Quite a cat out the bag, mate. When we found out today that the move's actually been done by Sean Maloney. It's Sean Maloney through the kind of same route that we managed to secure Lee Alabada.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, eyes were kind of wide open at that point, Ryan, because, yeah, Patrick, it is a done deal, mate. The Celtic staff have apparently done his medical over in Israel, where he's coming from. So the deal's just about to be finalised. And was it Roger Hanna, Ryan, that says the lad is on his travels to Glasgow?
I'm not sure if it was Roger,
for the game tomorrow.
But there's a few sources basically saying that it's done. So that's all we know. We'll just take it for there, mate. Aye.
What's your thoughts?
It doesn't inspire me, if I'm being honest. But again, I don't know the guy. The Israeli football, I don't know how the standard is. Most of Celtic fans don't really know the league. We only really know it through maybe. Did Effie Ambrose no sign for Israel as well, or was that Russia sign for? Where did Ambrose sign for?
I think you could be right, mate. I think it was FC Ashdod.
Ashdod.
I think it was not the same club we got Big Beaton from as well.
I think so. So again, I don't know the Israeli league, JP. I'd be lying if I said I did. So his stats don't look the best for a winger, but
Toby says, "Yeah, that's definite confirmation for you, if you ever need it, definitely, Toby."
Again, I don't know the Israeli league, JP. I don't know the standard. Again, on this week, even there's no point in me even looking at YouTube clips in, because the amount of times I see YouTube clips and make somebody look brilliant, they come to Celtic and they're no good. So it's where if the deal does get done and it is finalised and he plays, that's when I'll judge him. His stats and data don't really look great in terms of goal scoring, assist wise, brilliantly. But again, we don't know the league. We don't know his team's way. They might not be great. He might not get the chances to assist and score goals. So I don't really know, mate. But to me, it just seems, again, I could be wrong. It seems an agent touty signing it, doesn't it? I know Maloney might have been involved in it, but I don't know. It just seems to be that we seem to be. I just think we're behind in the way we do our analysis and data, and because we always see when we play teams in Europe, like your Midtjyllands or your Nordjyllands or Albergs or even teams from Malmo, etc. Every time we play against these teams, even I know Braga is different for the Scandinavian, but anytime we play a team in Europe, we always go 2 or 3 of them. Bear in mind, 2 of the teams, based on the stats in terms of size of Celtic, history, the expectation, there may be bigger clubs in their league, but in terms of against Celtic, the stature and the expectation, etc., and the infrastructure that some of Celtic might have, it's not really comparing it. Don't go wrong. I think Midtjylland, they spend more money on their infrastructure than the players, so that tells you what they want to do. You always get 1 or 2 players.
just reading about Midtjylland there, you were touching on them. I think that's the most I've spent in quite a number of seasons there.
5 million in Philip Billing, I think it was the most I've ever done. I think so.
Aye.
We play against these teams for Scandinavia or any other team in Europe that maybe knows big as Celtic, and there's always 2 or 3 players who are thinking, that guy's a belter, that guy's brilliant. Where are they getting him for? But they seem to find these niches. Bear in mind, they're not spending £15 million on these players. Whatever analytics or data or whatever scouting they're doing, how can they get the players, right? Majority of the time, they're getting building these squads. They're in Europa League, they're in Champions League, they're dipping in and out every year, but they're still successful. They're selling them all the time. I know people might say, for me, our model's not working anymore. We need to update it, we need to change it, we need to modernise it. How can all these teams keep doing it? Every time we play, if it's Ferencváros, even Rosenberg, there's always 2 or 3 players who are like, wow, brilliant. How do they get them? But we still stick to that times where it's just like, we'll try £1 million and we'll hope he comes good. But they seem to know what they're doing. They seem to know what they're buying.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we do sometimes, mate. But on this signing, I don't know much about him. I'll judge him when he comes. But to me, it just seems like it could be through agents and a wee tiny bit of scouting for us. But it just doesn't seem as like they've went and obviously I know Israel quite far away, so you might go and watch them. But like Martin says, mate, old school, go and watch them. If you need to travel 10 hours to watch a player, if that player's going to make you win the league, mate, then I'll be going to do it. But I'll just wait to see how he turns out, mate. I don't know what you feel, mate, but I don't know what you feel.
I kind of don't know what to feel because, like you just said at the very beginning, before you were chatting there, we don't really know anything about the boy, you know. And I can only envisage that if Sean Maloney, somewhere along the lines, has took this to Martin and they've signed off on this being done, because my understanding is, and I know Mark Guidi's touched on this, there was moves happening. There was another couple of moves that were due to happen under Wilfred Nancy that has been scrapped now. So Mark Guidi has said that. They have actually been scrapped now. So I don't think they were near completion, but Mark Guidi's understanding is, or to his informed knowledge, is that the moves have been scrapped. Simply because in this short term, Martin O'Neill feels that we need another direction. We need to go in a different direction just now. In terms of the young lad, Tabby, I'm certainly not going to sit here and be disrespectful to the lad and try and tell people what he's all about, because I don't know what he's all about. I don't know anything. All I know is that he's a left-footed winger that plays off the right side, and he's pacey. That's all I know. That's everything in a nutshell that I know of the lad. I'm certainly not going to make wild predictions. I did that with Quan. Look what happened to me. I did it with Wilfred Nancy. Look what's happened to me. So I've been left with egg on my chin many a times watching Celtic for the years, Ryan. I'm certainly not going to sit here and try and do it again. So early, I'm going to try and let the dust settle on Wilfred Nancy before I start making wild predictions. Although one of my other many predictions came through this season for me. We got our one away from home in Europe, mate.
Eventually, aye.
Eventually, aye, we got it away. And again, that was under Martin O'Neill's stewardship, and you know, his implemented confidence in the squad. And who knows, mate? I mean, we might see that again. We could get a really positive result against Bologna. We now know Martin's. There's a lot more settleness in there now, because we now know Martin's going to be here this summer. So the players will settle in a wee bit more. And in terms of the lad from the Ivory Coast, like I say, I don't know nothing about the boy. So I can only wait and see. But certainly when he puts a Celtic jersey on, Ryan, he will certainly have my 100% backing until you can make a judgment on him and go, right, this lad's going to do this or he's not. I know he's only 20, but for me, for any club to really, the indication there's his contract for me, Ryan. So I'm only hoping that this lad's got something about him, because they're now giving him a contract at 4.5-year deal, you know, and they must see something in the lad. If the lad's decent, Ryan, there's no way he's going to be here that length of time anyway. He'll be sold on within 2. So that's fundamentally Celtic's model. Celtic, you touched on the model there. Celtic have a model that they bring players in, they try and develop them, and they sell them on for bigger fees, and they've been highly successful at doing it. You know, even of recently, they've sold Matt O'Reilly for 30 million quid. And the recruitment side of things, bringing players into the team and bringing players in, well, it's worked to an extent. And I get people's thoughts about strikers and that side, and I'm well aware that we've not replaced Kyogo. But the recruitment's working to an extent because you're bouncing trophies every season. And fundamentally, that's why you recruit players. You bring players in to, one, try and make a club some money and try and get your model working for you, get the player trading model working for you. And secondly, bring players in to help you to win and continue the domination of your domestic campaigns. And give or take 1 or 2 seasons, mate, we've been able to do that. Now, when you're talking about ambition, Ryan, I'm just as ambitious as the next guy. I want to see us do well in Europe. But sadly, the way the football world is, you know, out there you're talking astronomical amount of money. And Celtic have tried the bigger fee road. And again, with a certain section of the fan base, it backfired massively. Because we, give or take, regardless of whether we've waited too long or we've not waited too long or whatever, we paid 11 million quid for Arnie Engels and we paid 9 million quid for Adam Ida to a point where it was life or death there because they weren't going to come if we didn't pay the money. So it then backfired on us. We paid 6 million quid for Austin Trusty, and up until probably Martin O'Neill came in just in his interim there, people were actually still questioning whether Austin Trusty was good enough, myself included, by the way. Because up until that point, Ryan, Brendan Rodgers wasn't selecting any of the 3 of them. I know Adam Ida had left in the summer, but Arnie Engels wasn't getting a game, and neither was Austin Trusty. And these are guys, Ryan, that he shelled out over 30 million quid. So, to an extent, mate, the model's working somewhere along the lines, mate, because it allowed us to get to the knockout phase of the Champions League last season as well, to go and compete with Bayern Munich. And we were, you know, a ball hair away for really doing a bit of damage. Yeah, we were practically the last kick of the ball of really putting a scare into the German giant. So I can see where, you know, I'm not particularly on board, and I've said it even on this channel, Ryan, I'm not on board with the speed of the way we do things. We need to try and speed up the process and the way we do it. And also, when we're selling a player like Kyogo, we either need to have someone lined up or someone coming in the door right after he goes. I'm well aware that there's massive discrepancies in it. And yeah, it's something that needs tidied up. And obviously brings us on to our next point straight away, because obviously we've went for Kyogo again. And Kyogo's decided he wants to stay at Birmingham for reasons known to himself.
I'm probably a bit different for you in terms of the model. I think the Kyogo side just tells you we've not got anything in the mirror. Then that, for me, I was trying to get Kyogo on loan. As much as Jota was a good signing, and so was Kieran Tierney, right? And I still don't want to sign old players and old managers, but certain fits certain teams. I get that, right? But a well-run football club doesn't keep reverting back to old ways. Replace Kyogo with Kyogo, try to. Replace Martin O'Neill with Martin O'Neill. Replace Tierney with Tierney. Replace Jota with Jota. What's Greg Taylor doing?
But we didn't replace Tierney because Greg Taylor was a valuable servant for us at that time.
In terms of quality with quality, we've replaced Jota with Jota, KT with KT, and tried to replace Kyogo with Kyogo. You've replaced Martin O'Neill with Martin O'Neill. As much as we get Martin O'Neill back the first time there was good, and getting him back now is good. They've obviously no got a back burner, a different manager or somebody on the list. It was right, who can we get? Right, O'Neill's free. We'll get Martin in. He'll steady the ship. there's no. I'm not saying it's a pure panic, but that's why it seems. Right, who can we get? Who's a Celtic man? Who's free? Right, we'll get Martin. Brilliant decision, by the way. But for me, I think the model's not working personally. I think the model has to be tweaked, majority of it. Hopefully, this new guy, I can't remember his name, but the new scout for Chelsea can hopefully come in and help. Albeit if it's Maloney.
Is his name James Bell?
James Bell Walker. It's not Jimmy Bell, it's James Walker. Right?
No, I was just my wee sense of humour was kicking.
I just think the last window we really came out properly successful was Ange Postecoglou. Now, people, this is just my opinion, no yours, no anybody, this is just my opinion. People say that the January window's hard. It's only hard when you don't do business and it's excuses. We get Ange got 2 or 3 guys in right away. AJ was signed a pre-contract right away. That's gone. We're even getting rumours about Gatter links for guys signing near the end of the end of the window, start of the window. We've known since January about a striker. Now it's the position that we needed for a long time. We've let Kyogo go. At the time, he was starting to decline rapidly, but I know he done well in the game before he left. But a few fans were saying he's no doing it as much now, and he should be starting. Not me, but fans were wanting him to play. He's not doing well. He's not linking up the play better. We're no pointing his strengths. We sold him, good money for him. I still say we shouldn't have sold him because it just reeked complacency. But we sold him, won the league, might have stepped up. So we knew between January and the summer we had to get a top number 9. Did they do it? Did they buy a striker? We tried to get Dolberg in the last few days of the window. Didn't happen. Went to Ajax. He's not done well at Ajax, but we can't say that he wouldn't have worked at Celtic, right? Another 4 or 5 months down the line to try and get a striker. And what did they end up doing? Try and get Kyogo on loan. It just stinks of desperation. It just reeks of... Martin's come in and went, right, lads, where's my striker? Who's coming in? Have we got anybody? No. We've had to maybe scrap this. Who's available? Kyogo on loan at Birmingham, where he's getting 40 grand a week. He's not scored a goal. I think he scored 1 goal in 24 games. Now, take away the nostalgia of Kyogo, you would not be buying him for any amount of money if he wasn't playing. If he wasn't scoring for a goal for Birmingham, it's just. I get the nostalgia of it, and I get that it's Kyogo.
He wouldn't be in the mix for me, Ryan, if he was scoring goals for Birmingham, because it wouldn't even be a conversation.
But that's what I'm saying, right? So why should he be fit for Celtic? If he's not scoring goals anywhere, aye, but that's what I'm saying. Take away the nostalgia of Kyogo.
You can't, Ryan. You can't.
Of course you can.
You can't.
You can.
You can't. You can only do that in hindsight. He's been up here. You can't take that away because he's been here.
If you're not looking, if we're all looking through, take away our Celtic specs here, right? Take away the nostalgia of what he done here, and he's a fit here, right? Take away that, right? Look at. I've seen all his stats, not just his goal scoring and assists, all the bits about him. You wouldn't sign him. If his name was not Kyogo Furuhashi, you wouldn't sign him. He's not a fit for Celtic.
About Jota and Kieran Tierney, but the fans were wanting that done.
But this is I keep saying it, but see the way he left as well, right? He was pushing to go for Celtic. Fans were saying, he's nearly 30 now, £10 million. I will sell him. It's fine. He's not what to be here. But now there's maybe a chance of getting him back. The difference was Tierney wasn't wanting to leave. Celtic accepted a bid, and let's be fair, he's not going to say no to a £20 million bid, 100 grand a week wages. Nobody was saying no. Fair play, Katie. He did always say he would eventually want to come back. Jota gave us put in a situation where it was £20 million. Celtic said aye to the 2 bids. Celtic said aye. So the difference with Kyogo was he was pushing for a move, and he put the club in a situation where they had to sell him because he switched agencies and left. For me, I get some of what you're saying in terms of the model, signing Matt O'Reilly, it's selling him. I get that, it's worked, but that's not going to work every single season. And we've proved that recently, it's not working every single season. The last window we done well probably was Ange. The last one made a massive impact.
That's what Celtic have done for as long as I've remembered, right? They've sold their best player and still won.
Domestically, right, I'm agreeing with you, right? Mm-hmm. But I keep saying this. Maybe I've got a pipe dream. I don't know. But we should not be just looking to just be ahead in Scotland. And that's the way the board think. For my eyes, it's just, we win the league. If we get European bonus, that's fine. If we don't qualify, it's fine. We've got the £40 million in the bank. We've had the Champions League nights. It's fine. That's the way it seems to me. And I think that's the wrong way to run your football club or your business. You should be buying players to be better in Europe, and the leagues, it's done. Because you're focusing on getting the best players to take you forward and not just to be ahead of Hearts or Rangers.
Yeah.
I don't know, mate. Listen, I've took them to the end of the season because we're scraping the barrel here. But we're actually scraping the barrel.
Well, the question is he better than what we have just now? And you better believe your bottom dollar he is. He is,
right, but we shouldn't be comparing anybody to Johnny Kenny. This is what I'm saying. This is why me, you, everybody in the chat, we're all getting frustrated because we are comparing a guy who's not scored goals for Birmingham against a guy who's not doing well here. Right? You're better than Kenny. Come up. I'm not saying you need to go and spend £15 million on a striker, right? But a striker, we should be signing a striker who's previously done really well at his football club. I know Dahlberg done that, so the Kitz's Garden, they've went elsewhere, it's failed, but that does mean they're going to fail at Celtic. And we can't keep comparing the Ida, the Engels, and the Trusty to no go and spend money. Because, like you've said, it actually did work. We qualified for the Champions League knockout phase, we won a double. So, realistically, that worked. It worked. So, if we need...
we won the treble.
That's what I'm saying. So, if we need to go and spend £30 million on 3 players that are going to input in the first team, I would rather do that, JP, than spend £15 million on 5 players who don't get a sniff. We need players now for impact, no for 6 months' time. We need to win this league.
Yeah, no, and that's where I think we are now, Ryan. I don't think we're in the position we maybe were at the summer. I think now needs must, and no doubt there's been mega mistakes being made, but we've obviously just had to pay off Wilfred Nancy and these coaches, so that's not going to be a couple of pounds, So that's, again, you talk about budgets and stuff like that. That's no doubt going to eat into a budget that you probably weren't banking on. Because nobody, unless you're Nostradamus, mate, nobody predicted that, or certainly the hierarchy, whoever it was in charge of that deal, they've not predicted that Wilfred Nancy was only going to last for 8 games. Everybody probably thought he would have lasted a bit longer than that. It wasn't to be. So they've now had to pay the guy off. Now, albeit he was on a 2.5-year deal. But that doesn't come cheap. You also had to shell out £2.6 million to bring him here. So, yeah, as I say, we don't know these things are going to happen. Yeah, there's been mistakes made. Of course there has been. And sadly, we need to pay the price for that. But now we're in the here and now. Now we're in we need to roll our sleeves up. We need to fight and try and win this league. By the way, it might still not happen. It might be too late. Who knows? We've got 18 cup finals, Ryan, starting tomorrow. 18 cup finals starting for tomorrow in order to try and make that a possibility. So you've kind of got to look at it that way, mate. And I don't know if it's Martin O'Neill or Sean Maloney or somebody's at the football clubs maybe tried any off chance, realised it's maybe not happening for Kyogo at Birmingham, and thought, yeah, we'll go for him because he's been here, he's done well, he was a success, and it's less of a gamble than going and spending another couple of million quid on another Shin Yamada that might not work out, and come the summer we're back to square one again, mate. Because if Kyogo was to come to Celtic again and he scored between 12 and 15 goals between now and the end of the season, and that resulted in Celtic winning the league, mate, the Celtic fans would be fucking screaming, rubbing their hands together. And nobody can say they wouldn't be. Not one person can go, nah, wouldn't be. Yeah, he has rejected the move, Regina. I don't know if when you've tuned in tonight, pal, obviously, I had mentioned that earlier, that Roger Hanna, who's from Clyde One Super Scoreboard, he was on in his Sun column in a video audio today, and he talks about it. For whatever reason, he doesn't know. He said whatever reason unknowns to Kyogo, he rejected the deal. But obviously Celtic have tried, they've reached out and gave that olive branch to bring him here. But you're right, Ryan, he did want to leave. But again, his circumstances have changed, mate, because things are maybe not going well for him. But he was a match made in heaven here, mate. The fans loved him. He's an icon up here. An absolute icon. He was massive for the football club. And I think Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney, they're clever guys, Ryan. They would have realised, by the way, this is a guy that could, really give the squad a big boost and give himself a big boost in his career. So, I think if you I think selling Jota for 25 million quid, you've sold Kieran Tierney for 25 million quid, you brought the two of them back to the club for about 8 million quid, 9 million quid. I think that's amazing business. I don't care that they've played here before, or we've went and brought in a player that we used to play here before. I think that's tremendous business for Celtic now. To be able to do that. But I think one of the commenters, I don't know if it was Ryu Ken, in the comments there, see if these guys didn't have the connection with the football club that they had for the first time around, we wouldn't have been in these predicaments, Ryan. We wouldn't have got Kieran. We would not have signed Kieran Tierney back for Arsenal in the summer if he wasn't a Celtic boy. It just wouldn't have happened, mate. Another one that a lot of people, it seems to be overlooked as well. Scotland isn't a big draw it used to be. It just isn't. And I watched a Canadian podcast and the guys were talking about Alistair Johnston, and they were also talking about this lad that we've been linked with, this Nico Saga, coming here. And one of the guys that was on the podcast, now we look at that for the inside and we go, oh, you're just being ignorant, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. But this is the wide opinion, Ryan, from the outside. Scotland, isn't he? Hajduk Split was somewhere like 150, 153, just say. And the listings, I can't remember what it was he said. And Celtic were away down at 179. So we were behind Hajduk Split, only for the capacity of our match day crowds was the difference. That's what the guy was saying. So they were actually advising him on this channel to stay where he was. And if he keeps working hard, a better move than coming to Celtic would arise for him. But sadly, Ryan, that's the wider scope, mate. That seems to be the bigger picture, mate. Scotland isn't a big draw anymore, mate. And I know what you're saying about the Champions League, but sadly, mate, the Champions League doesn't even bring top of the range to this league. Because see, once you drop out the Champions League, which 9 times out of 10 is always going to happen to us anyway, because of we don't have, or we simply don't have the quality to negotiate the further rounds. We just, we just aren't the draw we used to be. Rangers aren't the old Rangers used to be, and Celtic certainly aren't when Paul Lambert came here for the Bundesliga. When we don't have that. We just don't have that pulling power anymore, mate. We just don't. So that's another massive reason, in my opinion, why our model has to be the way it is. Because what else could it be?
Trying to improve the squad at the capacity, which we don't do. That's my opinion, mate. I think we underplay ourselves. I think we underplay what Celtic can offer players. We can't offer 80 grand a week, but we can offer a lot than what's. I think we undersell the club. I think the board undersell the club. I think everything about the club should be far better than we are. Let's be fair. See if I'm a player right now, the way Celtic are and the way everything is, I wouldn't want to come to Celtic. I wouldn't want to come to Celtic right now, the way the fans are with the board. The board on in tune with the players and the fans and everything. I wouldn't want to come to Celtic right now because
that's just this season, though, Ryan. We've lost players. We've lost our players to teams like Southampton.
But I get what you're saying, right? Listen, you're right in terms of this country. Who wants to come and play?
David Turnbull left us and went to Cardiff.
But to be fair, David Turnbull was not really a first team starter longer term. But I understand what you're saying.
No, for us he wasn't.
Aye, but I get what you're saying. We know Scotland isn't a good draw, right? But How can, that's what I'm saying, but how can Denmark, no, bear in mind, the Danish league, Denmark, they're not all fantastic leagues. They're all right. It's freezing cold. Some of the teams are no great, but they seem to pull brilliant players, scout them and sell them on. Every year they do it all the time. They have 2 or 3 brilliant players and they seem to progress every single season. We have no progressed properly, apart from Rodgers. Rodgers helped us, right? But in terms of transfer windows, one of Rodgers' his windows in his second time, just about everyone was away apart from Yang, I think.
Yang's the last one that's there, aye. Well, Odin Holmes, the other one, innit?
And
he's just come back.
So realistically, right, the last proper player that's come in, take away Katie and Jota, right, who's no came for Celtic went back, you're probably talking Alistair Johnson, who came in and was a mainstay. That's not good enough for Celtic. That was nearly 4 or 5 years ago. That's still good enough.
But it's been good enough overall because it's
produced domestically. Yes, which is your bread and butter. But,
and it got us to the knockout phase of the Champions League.
I'm no happy. I know people can call me title spoiled. I'm really past caring now, right? Won the Scottish League. We should win the Scottish League. We've got the best players, the best manager. We've got the most money. We should be beating Hearts, Hibs. We should be. Let's call it a spade. As what McKimmon said, call a spade a spade a spade. And Hugh Cavins is bang on, by the way. If we don't win the league this year, that is embarrassing. But the infrastructure and the effort we've had at the start of the year to set this club up for a full season, if we finish third or don't win the league due to incompetence, it's embarrassing. People tell me I'm spoiled. I don't care. Because I know what this club can do. And for the summer onwards, I hate mentioning summer because it's done. Right now, January's going the exact same if we don't speed up. We've had since January, we've all crying out for number 9. 10th of January tomorrow, and we've not signed a striker yet. Any other business, these guys would be sacked, JP. They'd be sacked. So if you need something in your business or football club, you get it done within a matter of so many weeks, so many months that you can. And they've not ironed out a top striker. It's, for me, the model works to a degree, JP, but we need to move with the times. We can't just keep signing players to, like, just say, look, McKimmon, right? Unlucky.
Well, in terms of the model, right? So let's touch on the model, right, Ryan, as you say that. What is it? What are you looking for as a fan then on the model? Because
instead of spending £15 million on 5 players, right, and maybe one's going to be an impact player, and the rest are maybe just wee squad players that in 2 years it might come good, right? We can't have 4 or 5 players just sitting there getting of age, maybe developing and maybe turning good. I'd rather do the proper due diligence on players that have proven ability. If you need to spend that wee bit of money and open the purse strings, see for Celtic to improve.
Right? Proven ability, what do you mean then? Because this is where I come back to about Scotland not being the big draw. Because guys that are proven, mate, on the coming.
Ask the question though. If you don't ask the question, it's never going to happen.
How do you know Celtic haven't in the past though?
Because I just know the way Celtic. I just know the way Celtic work, mate. I just know what they want.
Well, we tried to bring Casper Dolberg, and he ended up because of his affiliation with Ajax.
The end of the window. That's why he had no chance. The end of the window. You can't tell me Celtic knows he's a bit
at the beginning of the window, mate. Maybe the number 1 target. He could have been the number 3 target. We don't know, Ryan.
We don't know, but we don't know, but we do know.
We just seem to get hung up and annoyed about things when things don't seem to happen for us.
Because it happens every year, JP. We don't sign players for every year.
It happens at every football club every year, though.
Oh, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Do you think all the clubs chase players and they get all
Hearts have got 2 guys in right away. Hearts have got players in right away. Rangers are getting players in right away, but we're no. Why is
Rangers
that?
haven't signed anybody, though.
But they're just about signed. Hearts have got 2 players in.
We've also made a signing in this window.
Who?
Celtic, we've made a signing in this window. But the
model's not working. It's not working. Domestically it's working. But to make Celtic the best we can't keep signing guys for 500 grand and expecting them to go right. If he does well, we'll get 20 million in 2 years. But you don't know he's going to do well. You can't just randomly keep punting guys.
That's the thing, Ryan. That's the thing. See, you're talking about the guys at 500 grand. We're going to sign 3-4 players, and then the next one's going to be the Matt O'Reilly or a Jota or a CCV.
But they might know, though.
That's the way the model works.
Right, back to the question you said, right? So instead of buying 5 players for £15 million and maybe one will turn out brilliant, and 4 squad players they might need to wait. Like Jan, you might need to wait 2-3 years to get them good, right? I would rather they did a proper scouting, sign a guy who have actually done pretty decent in the last season, open the purse strings a wee tiny bit, and go, if it's £15 million and 2 players to make you better, then go
What
and
does
do
that
it.
guarantee you though, Ryan?
There's more chance you
back. On Engels either, and
but it
look at the
works.
fallout for it.
But no, but forget what fans are saying. Stats wise and facts wise, it worked. We won a double and got to the knockout phase of the Champions League, so it worked. So stick with it, but just buy maybe better players for the price you paid. Celtic can't afford more than £1 million a player. We need to stop going back to the early 90s and the early 2000s.
I agree with you there in terms of, and this is where I've said we want change in terms of profiling. But I think there needs to be a level of reality is just exactly what we're going to get here.
Right, Jota is probably on 30-40 grand a week, right? So is McGregor, so is Kieran Tierney, so is probably Casper Schmeichel. And some try to think, Trusty might even be in that bracket, he'd be signed for £6 million, right? Celtic can pay 35 to 40 grand a week on players. They can. But people just think we can't because we're in Scotland. Of course we can. I'm not saying going and paying 80 grand a week in a player. But there's more chance of you, if you scout a player, I'm trying just down south, who's doing well down south? Just say Haaland, right? I'm not saying sign Haaland, right? But just say a guy like Haaland was playing with, just say who's type of championship.
There's my point. So there's my point. That's why I said signing Kyogo was a no-brainer, Graham.
But I get what you're saying, right? But what?
That's my point.
But he's not proven this year. He's done nothing this year.
No, he's proven at Celtic though.
But Yamada was proven a year before in Japan, got 20 odd goals. Next year he gets 6. And
do you think Celtic would have been gone for Kyogo if he wasn't here already and proven here? I don't think they would have batted an eyelid.
But that's you making the correct point, right? Take away Kyogo's name. You want to sign him. So why are we signing him?
Because he's been here and he's been a star. That's why.
It's something
that we desperately need.
You're right, because we're scraping the barrel. But this is what I'm saying. That's
where we are. But Ryan, that's where we are.
But that's what I'm saying. But why are we at this situation? Because of the hierarchy in the board.
Because of the mistakes.
We should not be in this situation. We shouldn't be scraping the barrel for guys just better than Johnny Kenny. Guys just better than that.
Maybe it shouldn't be, but here we are.
It's a bad situation, mate. And
it's a bad situation. I'm not disagreeing with you. By the way, any point you've made tonight, I'm not disagreeing with you.
It's crazy, mate.
We can't sit and feel sorry for ourselves either and go, we're in this situation. How are we here? How are we there? We need to get on with it.
But that's what I'm saying. It's hard though. When you see, it's just hard to do it. It's hard to. That's what I'm saying. Positivity, right? We have known since January, striker wise, right? And you're going on to Kyogo. You're right. It's Kyogo, right? You're short term fit. Even we shouldn't be thinking about even getting Callum Wilson back as a free agent. We shouldn't be. Which he might fit into the end of the season, but we shouldn't be going get a free agent. Mm-hmm. You're like, what's going on, man?
But that's the thing, and the Callum Wilson thing's fresh as well because he's just became available by West Ham. So again, would Callum Wilson be in Celtic's forefront of recruitment? I don't think he would be. Had he be still under his contract at West Ham? Again, mate, the January window's a weird one, I know, because players somehow just become available to you and you can grab a hold of them. But as Graham Martin says in the comments here, we need proven experience now to guide us, to help us. Like I says, mate, we've got 18 cup finals. So we need to try and negotiate that as best as we can by bringing in guys. I mean, bringing in a guy like Kyogo, does he help us? Of course he does, because he's better than what we have just now. I know he's no scoring goals for Birmingham. I have seen snippets of him now. He's not became a bad player either. But it doesn't look like the 2 games I've watched for him playing for Birmingham so far, it doesn't look like they're playing to his strengths. I think Celtic would under Martin O'Neill.
They might, they might. But I just think that's what I'm saying about the scouting network, right? Now, I don't know why they've kept getting Kyogo, right? Why that's came up. Obviously, he's available, but he was available until we knocked his back. But where are they scouting though? Where's the is it Scandinavia? Is it Israel? Is it Europe? Because surely Kyogo Furuhashi is not the first name or the best player that Celtic can get. A guy that you've sold, and surely if they're doing if Celtic are doing the proper recruitment as a football club should be, Kyogo Furuhashi should not be on any other lips about signing back in January. But that's my big thing is even Callum Wilson. Listen, I would take Callum Wilson end of the season, right? Just because we need players, but we shouldn't be talking about getting a loan player for Birmingham and a free agent who's leaving West Ham. He's no whatever's happening at West Ham. We shouldn't be in a situation like that. See if Callum Wilson, I know if he was younger, we're going to get him because he was that good. Even at Newcastle last year, we're going to get him. But it's just, we need to try and obviously the situation we need to be forward to the end of the season, right? But they've got a good 2.5 weeks or so, really 3 weeks. They need to get this right, JP. They need to get it right because if they don't, the summer there's going to be not just players leaving. There will be some more members having to go because it's not acceptable. But we'll try and be positive. We'll try and get hopefully players in. Again, Martin did say it. Again, that word, hopefully players in. I don't like that word, hopefully, but like you said, we just need to go on, mate, and deal with it.
Well, this is it. I do think there's, well, I mean, he did reiterate as well, there's things happening in the background with it. So I do think, like I say, there was well run reports, mate, from many different journalists that the boy Nico Seeger was more or less a done deal. And I think it's just about dotting the I's and crossing the T's, etc. So I would imagine as we gather into the weekend, Ryan, into the start of next week, I think you'll start to see maybe movement on those fronts in terms of some of those guys. I saw tonight we were linked to another kind of defensive midfielder, a boy called Silas Anderson. His name was mentioned earlier on tonight on social media. So, yeah, mate, I'm the same as you, mate. I think that this is the fundamental thing. We're all wanting the same thing. We all want Celtic to do well. When Celtic don't do well, we're all not happy. And I think we can all categorically agree on that, right? But some people get a bit more irate. Some people can be a bit more kind of laid back with it. Some people can be a bit more, uptight, and some just don't really think about it too much till the time comes. Like you say, Ryan, we're all sitting in transfer deadline day on 31st of January, and we're hoping another Craig Bellamy signing comes through the door, but we end up signing Will Flynn.
Sorry to cut you in, right? So there you go. Craig Bellamy and Robbie Keane. There's two guys that we go on loan to Spurs and Newcastle.
Yeah.
And it's not like they were on. Aye, but that's what I'm saying. So there's proof that we can get players of that ilk if I'm not really playing. Here's a suggestion that I mentioned today to a few group chats.
Martin Neill could help with that though, Ryan, because Martin Neill's obviously Craig Bellamy. He was obviously there when Craig Bellamy came. Do you think Martin Neill could help draw a player like that to the club? Possibly,
it could. Again, it might be a pipeline, but if you ask the question, all you're going to get is no. You'll move on. In terms of as a player I seen today, and again, he's on high wages. He's only earning $15 a week at West Ham, so it might not happen. But again, you can maybe get a loan deal, you maybe pay $15 a week. But I don't know, right? I know he's 31, and normally I want to say we go and get him, but because of the situation we're in, a bit of experience, he's not really playing at West Ham. Again, I'm not saying go and sign him for forward thinking. We need to get, as much as I'm saying we need to move forward, we need to go, we've got the room, we need to try and get players at the end of the season. James Ward-Prowse, he's not playing at West Ham, he's only 31. Experience, know-how, he's a very, very good player. Won't need to adapt. He can slot into Celtic, play every week, and who knows in the summer. I know he's 32, potentially in the summer 31, but he could stay. I'm not saying that he's the man for us, but I'm just saying...
Are we starting this rumour? Is this what I'm
No,
hearing here?
this is me. This is me. Just
right, okay.
It's just a guy. I looked today on Twitter and his name popped up. I looked into him. He's not really playing with West Ham.
You need to go on the phone to your mate Mendes and me Maloney and try and get something happening.
I think Nuno Santos bombed him out. I think he's playing with West Ham again. He's not playing with West Ham, so I don't want to sign him because of that. Same with Kyogo, no doing well. Well, I think he's playing right enough, but I don't want to get back to signing players who are not playing. But just because they're where we are, and I don't want the standards there, it's just where we are. But again, like you mentioned, right, we need to go with it. I think he's 31, he can play fullback, he can play in the middle of the park, he's a pure utility player. I'm not saying like your James Sands, you could be like him. But I think Ward-Prowse, I think Ward-Prowse, again, I'm not starting with him. This is just a player that I thought, why not ask the question? I know by the way, Scott Sinclair with the no good money at Aston Villa. Scott Sinclair wouldn't be getting 20 grand a week at Aston Villa. So ask the question. Listen, we might even pay 50 grand a week for him for 4 months and whatever. Listen, it's just a pipe dream maybe. I'm just trying to suggest players that are not playing down south that are still able to come in and help you, you know.
No, listen, I get where you're coming from. Yeah, no, I'm on board with that. I would take that any day of the week. But that's where we are. You know, we are in the, unfortunately, we are in the short term. We do need a striker, yeah, and that's hopefully over the next week we're going to see more links to a striker. I did see one tonight, an Israeli fella.
I've seen that kicking about.
Victor Jerusalem. SHUA. Shua. Seems to be, well, going with the report I read on it, it seems to be the kind of same profile as like a Giakoumakis type player. But he scored goals. I think he scored 13 goals in 19 games for his team this year. Aye, more than likely. I bet you're still saying the same next week, JP. Aye, more than likely. I mean, I think at this rate, I'll get Big Alan to get on the phone and see what Tommy Johnson's doing nowadays, man. See if he can. He's a hot one.
What's Simon Donnelly doing at Celtic TV?
Larson gave him a shout out on the overlap there. So, what's Simon Donnelly doing nowadays? By the way, Simon's a great player as well. So again, it's no.
Yeah, that's right. He's on 115 a week, roughly 110. Again, JD, it's just a player that I thought he's not playing. You can maybe get him on loan, pay some of his wages. No, again, I'm just not.
It's good thinking. Again, Ryan, who's to say the further down the window we go, that might not happen. That might be still come up because unfortunately, right, and it is a bad position to be in my opinion. I will say that. But that's where we are. We're at the sleeves up end, right? We need to scrap here. That's where we are. We need to. By the way, he's had a great season with Genk. I would take that in a minute. I actually still, to this day, think we were hasty letting him go. There you go. Call me mental. And I've backed Young for day one and all. And we're only now starting to see the fruits of what that young man's starting to deliver. All because his girlfriend's on FaceTime regularly now with him. But that's a different storyline. But who's to say that type of player, that's a great shout. I mean, James Ward-Prowse, an excellent player, an exceptional player. Really, really underrated as well, doesn't there? Yeah, 100%, Ryan. I mean, but by the way, James Ward-Prowse won't be the only guy sitting there that could probably do a bit of damage on your team. And guys like that would come up here and give the team a wee lift as well. He's a character, I know, James Ward-Prowse. He's not just... That's what you need, Ryan. We need characters, mate. We need somebody to come in and have a bit
captain West Ham at Southampton? Am I talking Looney Tunes?
No, you're bang on. No, he was. He's captain both teams. I think he took. Did Tino take care for Declan Rice?
You might be right, mate. I think so.
I know he got that injury, and then that kind of scuppered him a wee bit, and it put him setting back. But I think somebody in the comments had said as well, he's a dead ball specialist. He's really good at free kicks and stuff as well. And he's played for England. So, yeah, listen, I would be... no, he's Greek. For what I've heard. Sorry, Cabbage, do you mean the winger that we're bringing in? Or do you mean the striker that I was talking about that we've been linked from? Who do you mean? If you're talking about the winger, he's actually in Ivory Coast, so he's not Israeli. But the striker that we're linked with from there, he's Greek. Aye, she does, Francis. Apparently she knows the Soldier song now, apparently, so she's been giving it loudy for the last wee while, mate. Patrick, yeah, that's it, mate. He's actually, that's the one. That's how you spell his name as well, Ryan. That's it there.
Mm-hmm. Aye.
Now this has come out of left field. This is, way out of left field, but he scored something like 12 goals in 19 games for his team. He plays for Beitar Jerusalem as well. Looking at his profile, because I had a quick glance before we came on tonight, he kind of looks about Giacomakis' type profile. Is John Carew available? I don't know. You maybe need to, again, he's good pals with Mendes. I'll see if Ryan will get him. Barry Bannon knows him enough, Scott, so maybe say to wee Baz. Baz played with him at Villa, so maybe see if Baz is maybe even your man as well, Ryan, Danny Sturridge. He's just sitting in Sky Studios now laughing at Roy Keane's jokes. So
Barry, listen,
we could probably have a wee look at right throughout, mate. There must be a fair few names we could pluck at.
There's one as well. I don't know if he's leaving Liverpool, definitely, but I seen him have Europe. He's linked to the MLS. There's another one you could try.
Charlotte FC's taking him apparently. Yeah.
There you go. It's another one you can try. So there's definitely listen, I don't want loan players, right? Unless they're at a calibre like your Robbie Keane's, your Craig Bellamy's, your even James Ward-Prowse. Yeah. Someday that ilk. I'm fine with that for a loan deal. If there's a possibility, you could even get them permanently. Obviously, age as well.
Because
Scott,
isn't that big fella?
I just think if it means getting loan deals, I'd rather get a loan deal for a top team that maybe if it is like a Robbie Keane signing. I know I'm not saying that standard, it's got to be Robbie Keane who's going to come up here and score 16 goals within 3 or 4 months. But I just think even a goalkeeper, Barry, a goalkeeper would be a shout in this window if we could, because can we rely on Casper for an awful month? I don't know.
I hope a goalkeeper as well in the last couple of days as well, haven't we?
So again, I really hope Casper starts playing well again, but he's no done well recently, and I know we'll get to the team tomorrow, mate, but if Sinisalo and even Doohan, if they're not getting a sniff, then they've got to think what's going on, because something's got to change in the goalkeeping capacity. What's that?
Yeah.
I wish I can get my boots on, but I don't know if I can play anywhere, but I can put my boots on for you if you want.
It's a wee bit like Martin Neill asking Peter Martin, who ties your laces for you?
I'll need to get the what was the boots called, man? 90s, the CTR 90s. I've had them for
the CTR 90s,
I'll get them one.
He's got them in pride of place, I know. It's the most stouriest cupboards ever in his house, man. And stoury boots for stoury cupboards, man. Tremendous.
I wear them once a year, 15-minute charity game, that's it.
He doesn't even take his spider's webs off him, just moves it to the side.
I know.
There's a build up there, a couple of years worth of webs. But I think, as I said, Ryan, I think we're at that point now, mate, where it will be loan deals and it will be short-term things. Listen, we make surprises. The Nikos Igor deal's not going to be a short-term thing. That's obviously a few million quid, and they're hoping to invest in this lad. So we need to see how that worked out. Yeah, he was. That's Martin O'Neill was in for Rivaldo. Going at this rate, by the way, Barry might be back in for him. The way he's going to now. Because
What's Big Rab then? Big Douglas, get him back.
oh no! Don't bring back Scott Bain before you sign him, man.
He's just signed a 2-year deal with Falkirk, mate. We can't get him now. Can't afford him now.
No signing Big Rab, man. One of the worst window cleaners you'll ever see in your life, man. Honest to God, Big Rab. Jesus. If you ever want to see me with high blood pressure, just put Rab Douglas in goals. Jesus, man. He's only goalkeeper I know for the net was for Stoke, but
Big Rab.
Honestly. But no, I don't want Fitzgerald either, Scott. No. Sliding doors moment, mate. We've seen how things have turned out for these guys, and a short time ago Celtic fans were wanting Celtic to spend 14 million quid on that boy. He's went to Norwich and absolutely tanked. So, and Ryan says earlier, he might not have done that at us, but you can look in now and go, we might have dodged a bullet there, you know.
It's just on, obviously, a player. I mentioned this player a few months ago, and again, I'm not saying, again, I want to move forward. I don't want to buy old players or free agents, etc. But I don't think he's got a team still. I know he might not be match fit, but what about Alex Chamberlain, Oxlade Chamberlain? In the summer he was free. He's still free, I think. I know he's not played much, so I don't want to sign him because of that. That would put me off that he's not had a team for so long since he left Turkey. But experienced, ability. If he was fully fit, JP,
he's no well in there, Ryan.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I don't know if that's why he came back. I don't know, but listen, I don't want Chamberlain. I don't want I'll take Ward-Prowse on loan down the season, but realistically, I don't want free agents. I don't want loans. But we're in a scenario where it might just have to be. And if Oxlade Chamberlain was somebody that could come here, listen, I could be talking money tunes. It could be something that would never happen.
Doing a scratch card running.
Aye.
Tony Warner's up there. He's going to go and ask him see if he can.
But again, I think I mentioned that when about September time, when we were up to August, when we're crying out for a winger. Again, I don't know how good he is now because he's not playing a winger. I don't know, but it's just something I could put out. Go somebody tell a record and they'll put it out. Oxford same one to Celtic.
Aye, and James Ward-Prowse. Two of them are coming. Right, obviously touching on tomorrow, mate. Dundee United last outing against them at Tannadice to beat us 2-1. Their last outing, they lost a Dundee derby last week as much as we lost the Glasgow derby. Yeah. In terms of the game, mate, what are you expecting from the opposition?
I'm going to probably be the most positive I've been in a good few weeks anyway. I just think it'd have been nice to get the game again back in. I won't touch on it along because that for me is something that's going to get back in. If it's Brian Wilson and Nicholson, they need to come together and get them in because the atmosphere needs it. We need unity now, so that's a big help. I think we'll win the game tomorrow, JP. I'm quite confident we'll win the game tomorrow for the first time in a good few weeks. I just think with Martin coming back, you'll go back to the full 3-3, back to basics. I think you'll play Engels, McGregor and Negrin. I don't think Hatate will play. Saying that, he likes Hatate, and Hatate might feel that he can play now because Martin's back. So, as much as Scales hasn't been great the last few weeks when I've seen him and Trusty were doing well. So, I'd go with that partnership. I'd go with Julian at right back, go with Tierney at left. I would play Sinisalo in goals. I don't want Casper anywhere near it, but I think he'll play Casper. I think he'll just stick with experience. Maeda through the middle with Taneki out wide with Yang, and I think that'd be my teammate. Keep it simple, 4-3-3, and just go and win. And Scales out the cupboard, Scott, but one more bad missed pass, he's back in the cupboard, mate.
Poor Liam, man, it's a shame. It's an absolute shame, man. He's been missing for a good number of weeks now. It's not even that, by the way. It's not the fact that he's been missing. He's been used as a guinea pig to try out the new snails and baguettes and that for Marseille, apparently. So, aye. I think the team, Dundee United, will put up a bit of a fight. They're always physical. They always try and, they'll sit and try and hit Celtic in the counter. Unfortunately, now they'll not be able to counter the way they did under Wilfred Nancy because Celtic will not be as open in certain areas of the peach. I was ready to say peach here, as in a French accent. I don't know why all of a sudden my brain activated that there. Joe Gormley for Cliftonville, get him out of his main job of electrician. We can get the boss to both worlds, few goals, somebody to fix the disco lights. Aye, that'd be good, you know. Aye, definitely.
Well, yeah, that signing was fit to sell it board well when they give him 2 wages.
Aye, put him in and pay him double.
Electrician / player.
He's putting in for Sunday shift not in the stadium, time and a half.
A free pie of Bovril for your duties, son.
Aye. Aye, and it comes off his wage at the end of the month. He thinks he's getting it for nothing. Aye. They've put it down as a tab of room service. But I know you're having a bit of a joke there, Scott, in terms of the two players I've not really put out much in terms of what they've gave us. But they are definitely a boost in numbers, mate, because we have been depleted. They've left. So in terms of numbers-wise for the squad, I think Tenecki's still got a bit to give, Ryan. I'm not ready to just give in with him. I can't even make comment on Balikwisha because we haven't seen him now. He's not had an opportunity. And we don't even know if it's because he's a bad player or... we don't know. We can only second guess and everybody... So that's the thing. I mean, people were saying up until Martin and Neill came in, Callum Osman hasn't kicked a ball for so he can't be good. He can't be up to standard. My God, did they no half announce himself in the couple of games he got under Martin and Neill before he got this injury. So, yeah, as I said, mate, it's we don't know what Balikwisha's capable of. You know, Martin and Neill might give him an opportunity between now and the end of the season now to see what he's got. Tomorrow's team, mate, I think the team will be Casper. I would like to see Sinasalo in goals as well. However, I do think it'll be Casper. I think it'll go with Arajo. I think it'll be Big Trusty, Scales and Kieran Tierney. I think the midfield will be Carl McGregor with Arnie Engels and Benjamin Nygren. And up top, I think it'll be Yang, Tunecki and Maeda. So I think that's more... You look at that, mate, and you see that lineup, and you go, that's more a Celtic team that we would know.
The only thing I think he potentially, again, I know it's not his positions, IP, but just because he had done it when he was here recently. Aye, because he didn't play Tenecki. Now I've said it on this podcast. I don't rate Tenecki. I don't think he deserves to play, but he's a natural winger. James Forrest is getting older. I think Forrest is more of a finisher, as we call it on here, with Baz. So I'd say he's maybe a sub player now. He should try McKibben even at the right side, move down to the left, but I'm just going with natural. I'm just going with Tenecki. Listen, I'm not saying it's last chance saloon, but he's got to start putting goals and assists to his name and not just fancy flicks, because it's good on the eye, but I want him to score goals, and like Henrik Larsson says, get it in the box. Get it in the box, and if it's Maeda, know yourself, JPC, if you as a winger, or anybody who's played football, if you're a winger, you're told when you're young, if you get the ball in the box, if it's between the penalty box and the 18-yard line, you've done your duty. It's up to the striker then to put the ball in the back of the net. If he's not scored, well, that's all right. Just keep them. You're doing it's up to him. So get the ball in the box, and they will score goals, mate. It will happen.
What you might also do is you might put Maeda out in the left and go with Johnny Kenny, because he went with Johnny Kenny the last time he was here. So he might actually still stick with Johnny Kenny. Or he might throw a total curveball to his own. Yamada might start the game. I mean, we don't know. Again, another guy that we've not really seen a lot of either.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And again, we make up our own minds and by going, this guy can't be any good, he can't be decent. So, who knows? Are you giving us a scoreline, mate?
I don't want to say we're going to concede, because I don't want to say we're going to concede. So, I'm going to go, for the first time I think this year, I'm going to say a comfortable 3-0 victory. People might think, wow, Ryan, why are you saying that? I know why am I saying that, but I'm just thinking that O'Neill coming back to basics. They'll be defensively solid. It's at Celtic Park, and I think the goals we've not been scoring. I think they'll take 2 or 3 chances, and I think we'll come away with 3 points, mate. I don't know what you think, but I can see why we can lose a game, but I'm just trying to be so positive here. O'Neill coming back to basics, just direct, defend properly, and I think we'll win the game, mate.
No, I've woke up today and I've been feeling good about it, and I've been feeling confident. I've been feeling ready, and I'm going to say 5-0. I think it'll be 5-0. I think Celtic will come out the trap tomorrow. I think they'll certainly have a point to prove. Those players ran the gauntlet last week, mate, in terms of coming out and having to face the music with.
Thanks, Mary. Much good. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mary. Thank you. Totally appreciate that. See, folks, that's how it's done. Totally free. If you do like the content on the channel, just hit a like and subscribe. And our lovely faces will be indebted to you forever. Ben Doak going loan. Is he? Oh, I don't know. Is that information we're getting there, Ryan, or is that just an opinion?
I've not got a clue. I don't know he was available.
Oh, Ben Doak in loan. No, I don't think he's just moved, hasn't he? Did he not just go to Bournemouth?
Is he not still injured?
No, I think he's.
Is he back?
I think he's back now. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I've not heard anything.
Yeah. No, I've not. No, listen. I can just see a reaction, right? You can. That's why I've said what I've said in terms of the scoreline. I just see a reaction. No, Mallock. I mean, I've done this before and Celtic have been out and get beat 2-0. No, Mallock, but Jesus, Martin O'Neill about the door tomorrow night if that happens. I've just got a really good feeling about it, Ryan. I think we'll come out the trap flying. Wee bit of tongue in cheek when I say 5-0. Maybe people might go, that's a bit disrespectful to Dundee United. But I just think we'll see a reaction from Celtic, and if we don't, then I think it'll be worrying stages, right?
If we don't win tomorrow, mate, then you can start maybe kissing goodbye to the league, when I'm being honest about that. I think we need to win just about every single game. We can't drop points, especially at Celtic Park. Obviously, we play Hearts, I think it's at 2-3 weeks' time, so
yeah.
Then Rangers is, I think, the 1st of March as well, so the big games are, every game's a big game at Celtic, but the big games are coming quick and fast. Hope for Rangers will drop points at the weekend, so will Hearts, but we need to focus on us. If we win every game, I know it sounds pure mental here, right? 18 games to go. If we win every game, I know it's mental, but you're in the league. so that's what you need to try and do, is win every game you can. If you drop one, if you draw one game, win the rest, you're all right. Meeting drop 2.
That's why I love you coming on here, Ryan, because you always give me that Mike Alone vibe, mate.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Listen, I'm here all day for it. But no, listen.
Nancy would have got on well with the ball and all that part.
I know I'm saying that as a laugh. You win every game, you win the league, but that is the truth. If we continue to go on, we run our games, it builds every win builds confidence. Every win builds momentum. Yeah. As much as we're saying Johnny Kenny's no good enough, if he scores a hat-trick tomorrow, he's then got to play on Wednesday. If he does the same again, he's then got to play against Auckland. That's just the way football is. Obviously, unless you buy a top striker, he'll come in. But let's just. I want Johnny to start.
As well in the comment. Lon said there in the comment there about the is it a sellout tomorrow? Yeah, definitely.
Apparently, I think so.
Oh, right, okay.
So, but no, listen, it's just about getting wins, JP, and do yourself, maybe in football. Doesn't matter how much you play well or whatever, if you win games, mate, it builds momentum, because that's the reason Hearts are doing well. The momentum, Rangers have got a bit of momentum now, so just win the game, mate, and then you've got Falkirk, you've got Auckland Lex, so I'm not saying Auckland Lex a chance to relax, but if there is some guys like McGregor feeling a wee at a niggle, you can play McCowan or Bernardo, or if it's even a young boy, if you want to complement the midfield. I'm not saying take it easy, but you could then play Sinisalo or Ross Doohan. You could play Anthony Ralston instead of Julian. There's Donovan. So, sorry. So, just one, mate, and then we'll go for that.
Yeah, 100%. thanks to everybody that's tuning in tonight with us, and thanks for tuning in this week with us. It's much appreciated. As I said, folks, if you are new to the channel and you do like the content, please hit the like and subscribe. It's totally free, and you get to see our lovely smiling faces. Well, certainly mine. I don't know about Ryan and Alan and some of the boys there. Sometimes they're bottles of bleach snatter on the counters, and we've got other things on the go, ain't maybe, man. Disco lights and all that for Friday nights and stuff. So, but cheers to yourself, Ryan, for coming on.
Oh, it's always good, mate. It's always good to debate, have a chat about Celtic. We don't all agree on everything, but like you say, mate, the main thing is we all want the best for Celtic. We've got different opinions about what we want and feels the best thing to do. So, a lot of viewers have got different opinions as well, which is one reason why we like doing this, mate. So, but no, obviously we'll be back on Monday as usual, probably, and hopefully discussing a win, mate. So, enjoy your weekend as well, mate, and hopefully we're celebrating a good victory tomorrow, and we're no sitting on Saturday having bleach.
No, Monday night a cup of bleach just doesn't go somehow. We've had that for the last couple of weeks, so hopefully we're knowing that. But yeah, same to yourselves, folks. I hope everybody has a lovely weekend. If you're going to the game tomorrow, wrap up well. It is going to be cold, and enjoy and stay safe. But for the time being, from the Celtic Unrestricted View, take care, hail, hail, and we'll see you all again. Bye-bye.
Sets up Larsson here. Larsson, oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly, how about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!